program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Around our area, a weekly look at community newspapers from around Western New York now continues. Your reader for this hour is Susan. First, under local news, the town of Hamburg hires construction management firm for Hamburg Senior Community Center project. The town of Hamburg has entered into an agreement with Square Engineering, DPC, to provide construction management services on the new Hamburg Senior Community Center. The agreement for $327,000 will include 1 year of full-time work, 40 hours per week, and 6 months of part-time work, which is 10 hours per week. The company will coordinate, inspect, and supervise the work going on at the site of the new center at 2982 Lakeview Road. This is a construction management team to represent the town as the owner's representative to run the project. All correspondence, communications, and permits, said town engineer Kami Jarrell. They'll be on site throughout the year of construction, physically having a person there in a trailer to answer questions, coordinate meetings, and handle all different aspects on behalf of the town. Jarrell met with 4 different firms about the work, getting financial figures from 3 of them. And of the offers that came in, the one from Square Engineering, DPC, was in the middle, with Jarrell feeling they were a stronger candidate than the low bidder. The Construction Management Services Agreement marks the first significant step forward for the project since September. In September, the board passed a bond resolution of $9,034,700 for the construction of the building. The board also passed bond resolutions related to the parking areas adjacent to the facilities for a total of $513,000 and for the construction of pickleball courts for a total of $132,000. Also in September, the town approved several contracts for the project. A general construction project of $6,352,000 was awarded to Resetarus Construction. An electrical construction contract was awarded to CIR Electrical Construction for $1,136,100. An HVAC mechanical contract was awarded to Greater Niagara Mechanical for $1,413,600, and a plumbing contract was awarded to William T. Spader for $778,000. Councilmember Frank Bogulski, who voted against the bonding for the center and all of the contracts, asked if it would be cheaper to hire one person to do the work instead of bringing on a firm. And if the town were to hire one person, Jarrell said, that individual would need to have all the qualities the municipality would be looking for in a construction manager. She said that type of person is either working for themselves or for a firm. Council member Megan Comerford added that if one person were hired, they would come in with no vacation or sick time. We're throwing another $327,000 at the project. It seems excessive, Bogalski said. Bogalski would end up voting against the Construction Management Services Agreement, but the resolution passed by a 4-1 vote. The agreement calls for the company to begin work on the project immediately. The new center will be a 21,000 square foot facility on 4 acres of town-owned land and will include a slightly larger fitness room, a gymnasium, new folding wall multi-purpose classrooms, outdoor pickleball courts, and an outdoor gathering space. Council member Elizabeth Farrell Lorenz said the timeline has remained the same and the town is hopeful the center will be move-in ready for the Youth, Recreation, and Senior Services Department and its programming by December 2026. This would coincide with the town's current lease at SUNY Erie South Building 4, where the department and programming is being housed currently, coming to an end also in December 2026. Next, Hamburg Board of Education awards another set of contracts for Phase 4 capital project work. This article is written by Chris Graham. The Hamburg Board of Education has awarded 3 additional contracts for work primarily at Union Pleasant Elementary School as part of Phase 4 of the Discover 2021 capital project. The contracts awarded on December 9th are for plumbing to John W. Danforth Company for $1,492 for mechanical, and also to John W. Danforth Company for $2,334,292, and playground construction to Landscape Structures, Inc. for $557,184. This is in addition to 5 contracts awarded in November, totaling over $10.7 million for work on the school. The contracts include site work to Matt Colo Excavating, LLC, for $196,000, general construction to Concept Construction Corp. for $5,449,000, electric construction to Fry Electric Construction Corp. Inc. for $1,898,000, roofing construction to Groove Roofing Services Inc. for $1,820,000, and demo and abatement construction to Metro Contracting and Environmental Inc. for $1,558,900. Superintendent Thomas Adams said the board will have 1 additional contract to award in January. The 9 contracts for Phase 4 will total around $15 million. Sean Fallon, project manager at Turner Construction, said construction on Phase 4 will start in the beginning of February, and some of the construction will include work on corridors and stairways on the Pleasant side, updating bathrooms, improving fire and safety access for the doors on the Pleasant side, and roof work. Adams previously said work will occur on the inside and outside of the school building. A major component of Phase 4 construction will include work on the Pleasant Auditorium. The Pleasant side of the school building was built in 1925. Phase 4 will be a 2-year project. Next, there are a couple of crime incidents to report. Wallet stolen from an unlocked vehicle on Briarcliff Drive. Town of Hamburg police were called to a Briarcliff Drive residence on December 7th for a report of a larceny. The victim told police he left his wallet in his unlocked truck. The wallet was taken by an unknown individual. He began to receive text message notifications informing him of fraud on several of his debit credit cards, the report said. The victim was aware of at least 5 fraudulent charges totaling more than $400. There is no video of the incident. There are no suspects at this time. Also, police respond to a shed fire on Burbank Drive. Town of Hamburg police responded to a Burbank Drive address on December 7th for a shed on fire. The shed fire caused heat damage to 2 residences on Burbank Drive and another on Agassiz Drive, the report said. The fire is believed to have started along the side rear wall of the shed, authorities said, and the cause of the fire is undetermined. Next, a Hamburg high school junior designs cleats for My Cause, My Cleats. Hamburg high school junior Neil Blecher has been a Bills fan his whole life and never could have imagined one day he'd design a pair of cleats for a player. He met cornerback Brandon Codrington at a Buffalo Bills Crucial Catch event he was attending with his family. His mom is currently battling cancer, and these events bring together those fighting cancer, their families, and Bills players. Blecher said he and Codrington were fast friends, and weeks later, the Bills reached out to Blecher's mom to see if he'd be interested in designing cleats for Codrington as part of the My Cause, My Cleats initiative. My Cause, My Cleats is an annual NFL campaign where players, coaches, and staff wear custom-designed cleats during games to highlight social causes and nonprofit organizations important to them, raising awareness and funds through auctions of the unique footwear. Blecher talked to his mom about the design and ultimately decided to include a wave, which is how she described her journey. His mom's name, his grandma's name, the latter of whom passed away from cancer in 2018, and Codrington's number. For my mom and my grandma's name to be out there, that's just amazing to me, Blecher said. It's my favorite things, football and my family, all in one. You are listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Next, we have some West Seneca news from the West Seneca Bee under police blotter. First, a naked woman wanders through suburban court. November 28th, Friday. Police responded to suburban court where a naked female was wandering in the street. She was moving and behaving erratically and was unable to form complete verbal responses. She was believed to be under the influence of an unknown drug. She carried no ID, and she could not tell officers who she was. She became combative with EMS personnel, trying to bite and punch them, and had to be sedated. She was taken to a hospital for detox and further evaluation. Her identity was later verified by relatives. Saturday, November 29th. A 43-year-old Cheektowaga woman was arrested following a traffic stop on Union Road. While verifying her information, the officer discovered she had an active warrant out of the town of Niagara and was taken into custody and turned over to the town of Niagara police without incident. And also, a 37-year-old West Seneca man was arrested for drunk driving after patrols responded to Laurelton Drive for a report of a vehicle that had struck a tree. Upon officers' arrival, they determined it was actually a utility pole that the car had run into and sheared off. The driver was outside the car, and police observed him to smell like alcohol, be slurring his speech and stumbling on the roadway. He failed field sobriety tests and registered a 0.308% BAC on a preliminary breath test. He was charged with DWI, aggravated DWI, and multiple traffic infractions. Next, we have the Garden Club creates holiday arrangements for West Seneca Library, written by Rachel Ross. On Tuesday, December 9th, the Amana Garden Club gathered at the West Seneca Library to create holiday floral arrangements for patrons to enjoy throughout the season as part of the group's ongoing commitment to enhancing and celebrating the community through nature. According to club treasurer Janice Frazier, the group made a total of 16 arrangements, which members will check on periodically for watering and upkeep. These are all fresh floral designs, Frazier said, and we use fresh evergreens and fresh flowers, and sometimes we also add little decorations to them, like Christmas ornaments, just to dress them up a little bit more. Frazier said that some of the materials used to make the arrangements are provided to members by the club, such as flowers and decorations, while others are brought from participants' own gardens, such as evergreen branches. The club also provides the library with other seasonal arrangements throughout the year as part of their contributions to the West Seneca community. At the end of January, the club is going to be returning to the library to participate in a seed swap event where gardeners gather to exchange seeds with one another in order to promote community and blood university. This is quite an event, and there are a lot of people who come to that seed swap. And so we're happy that we'll be able to participate in that this year, Fraser said. During the swap, the club will also be handing out marigold seeds, the town flower, for participants to grow in honor of West Seneca's 175th town anniversary. This is to encourage residents of the town to come and get some seeds, marigold seeds, and plant them, grow them in their gardens to be part of the town celebration of their anniversary, Fraser said. The club will be holding their next meeting in February, where they will be discussing program ideas for the year. Visitors are encouraged to join the club at the American Legion Post number 735 on February 11th at 12:30. Next, we have a B editorial. Volunteering is worth the time. Finding time in our days to get done what we need to do can be challenging, whether it's work, taking care of the yard, getting the kids where they need to be, tackling that project that's been on the to-do list forever, or just getting the laundry done. Schedules can always seem tighter than we want them to be. While many of us may not feel as though we have an abundance of extra time to give back for the betterment of our community, taking even a few hours here and there is more than worth the investment. During the holidays, donations increase as the spirit of giving is front and center for people. However, donations of goods and services, along with volunteering your time, is a need throughout the year, not just during the holiday season. If you are looking to make a larger commitment, fire companies across the town are always in need of new members. In that role, you can have a literal, life-altering impact on other people's lives. Perhaps you are looking for a small, less stressful commitment. If so, Feed More, Western New York, might be just the place for you. Through that organization, you can help deliver meals to those in need on an ongoing basis or help package those meals. If you have a creative flair and are looking for something that you can do from home in your own time, you can contribute to the Angel Card program. Through this program, you can create cards that will be delivered to meal recipients to help brighten their day. You can learn more about these volunteer programs by visiting www.feedmore.wny.org/get-involved/volunteer sign-up form. If cute and furry are more your speed, the SPCA serving Erie County has tons of opportunities of varying commitments, from event volunteer to kitten nursery attendant to videographers and volunteers to work with wildlife. You can learn about all of those opportunities at yourspca.org/howyoucanhelp/volunteer. One of the beautiful things about volunteering is that there is always an organization in need of help that will align with a personal interest of just about anybody. And while you'll be doing work to help others, you will also walk away feeling fulfilled by the experience. This region is known as a place full of good neighbors, and it is something that many Western New Yorkers take a great deal of pride in. Taking a bit, or perhaps a lot if you have it, of time and effort to help others is an activity that will never leave you feeling as though you've wasted your time. It not only helps individuals in need, but also helps make Western New York and West Seneca a place that you and your neighbors can be glad to call home. Next, under Youth and Recreation, recreation office hours are from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The department sometimes briefly closes for lunch, so it is suggested that you call ahead at 716-674-6086 before you arrive. The department will not accept patrons after 4:30 and will not process registrations after 4:30 p.m. For more information, you can check out West Seneca Youth and Recreation's free monthly use programs at www.westsenecarecreation.com. Ice skating. Public skating is available 7 to 9 p.m. Wednesdays and from 2 to 4 p.m. Saturdays at the West Seneca Town Rink at 1250 Union Road behind the Town Hall. Adult skating is available from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Tuesday and Thursdays. Cost is $7 for residents with 60 and over, and 4 and under free of charge. Non-residents are $9. Skate and helmet rentals are available in the Pro Shop for $5 each, or both for $8. Holiday Leisure operates the shops and programs at the rink. Their website is www.holidayrinks.com, West Seneca /Town Rink, and their phone number is 716-675-8992. Basketball. High school open court basketball, grades 9 through 12, will be held from 3:45 to 4:15 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays through December 18th in the CCI gym. Middle school open court basketball, grades 6 through 8, follows from 4:30 to 5 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays through December 18th in the CCI gym. Friday Fun Night. Kids in grades 6 to 8 may participate in a longer high-energy version of open gym from 5 to 8:15 p.m. on Fridays. The event features gym class throwbacks like dodgeball, relays, and obstacle courses. There are also sporting challenges that allow kids to sharpen their skills in basketball, soccer, and other sports. The rec department is offering seasonal craft sessions for children on Tuesdays from January 6th to the 27th. Kids in grades K to 2 are from 5:55 to 6:25 p.m., while grades 3 through 5 are from 6:35 to 7:05, and grades 6 to 8 are from 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Children ages 3 to 4 are from 5:15 to 5:45, and an adult must be present. This session ends January 20th. Registration is free for residents and $20 for non-residents. And a reminder, if you have news about upcoming events or new businesses in West Seneca, or know of community leaders who could be profiled, feel free to email ekeppeler@bnews.com or contact Eric Keppeler by mail at 5564 Main Street, Buffalo, New York 14221. and you are listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And next, we have the East Aurora Bee. First, we have an article written by Justin Sullivan. Small portion of Aurora Theater ceiling collapses during a field trip. More than 60 people were impacted. Part of the ceiling of the Aurora Theater and Popcorn Shop collapsed on Monday morning, impacting 68 children, teachers, and chaperones who were at the scene of the accident. The accident was reportedly caused by a staff worker stepping through the ceiling, causing a portion of the ceiling to fall. According to officials, 6 individuals were evaluated for potential injuries. While no injuries appeared to be serious at first glance, several attendees were reportedly covered with debris from the ceiling. Fire and safety officials secured the area and conducted a structural assessment to ensure the remainder of the building was safe. Located at 673 Main Street in the village of East Aurora, the nonprofit One Screen Theater celebrated 100 years of operation this year. The venue seats more than 650 patrons, and the theater often holds private and event screenings. The accident remains under investigation. More information will be posted as it becomes available. Next, we have an East Aurora resident who is named Chief Financial Officer for Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities of Buffalo recently announced the East Aurora resident Robert Hasselbeck, and he has been named to Chief Financial Officer. He succeeds Mike Quinn, who is retiring at the end of the year. We are deeply grateful for the expertise, leadership, and mentorship Mike has brought to the agency, and his guidance laid a strong foundation for succession within our finance department, said Deacon Steve Schumer, President and CEO of Catholic Charities. Bob brings strong leadership, character, and business acumen to his new role, and I'm confident he will guide our finance team with distinction. With more than 30 years of experience in finance and accounting, Hasselbeck has been with the agency since 2018, when he joined as a senior accountant. And since then, he has steadily advanced to roles of increasing responsibility, becoming Assistant Department Director in 2022, Department Director in 2023, and Senior Director in 2024. Hasselbeck holds a bachelor's degree in finance from Canisius College. Hasselbeck is the 2025 recipient of the St. Joseph the Worker Award for dedicated lay service to his parish. For more than 100 years, Catholic Charities of Buffalo has provided hope to individuals and families of all faiths, backgrounds, and circumstances. As the most comprehensive human services agency in Western New York, Catholic Charities delivers wide-ranging programs to address systemic poverty, sudden financial crisis, hunger, behavioral health, workforce readiness, family stability, legal immigration and resettlement, and help for older adults. More information can be found by visiting ccwny.org. Next, New York updates cannabis marketing regulations. New York's Office of Cannabis Management announced Friday that updated regulations governing the packaging, labeling, and marketing and advertising of adult use cannabis have been published in the state register and are now officially in effect. The revised rules approved by the State Cannabis Control Board are designed to provide clearer standards and greater flexibility for licensed cannabis businesses while maintaining consumer protections, the OCM said in a statement. Officials said the changes reflect more than 2 years of public feedback and aim to modernize oversight of how cannabis products are branded and sold in New York's legal market. Key regulatory updates include authorization of rewards and loyalty programs for cannabis licenses, clarified rules on outdoor signage, including removal of a prior limit of 2 signs, expanded guidelines for promotions and discounts, updated advertising audience thresholds to clarify who may be targeted, modernized packaging and labeling standards with a transition period. The regulations also reaffirm that billboard advertising for cannabis remains prohibited under state law. Businesses currently using billboards must remove them by February 24, 2026, or risk compliance action, the agency said. Under the new rules, certain packaging and labeling provisions will not take effect until 6 months after publication in the state register, setting a compliance deadline in mid-2026. Those provisions include retail packaging standards, exit packaging requirements, packaging prohibitions, required display panel information, required retail package and marketing layer elements, and updated warning statements. Other provisions, such as expanded marketing options and updated signage requirements, are effective immediately. And for more information on New York's cannabis programs and regulatory updates, visit cannabis.ny.org. Next, under news briefs. Residential customers in New York have strong legal protections for essential winter weather services, including heat and hot water. New York State requires utility service providers to make extra efforts to reach out to households before heat-related shutoffs occur during the cold weather period from November 1 through April 15. And utilities must wait at least 35 days from when notices are past due to pursue termination of services and provide at least 15 days notice before doing so. Visit dps.ny.gov/ask-PSC for more information on New York's Energy Affordability Program and Home Energy Fair Practices Act, and details on how to file a complaint. Immigration scams are impersonating various branches of Catholic Charities across the country, according to Catholic Charities of Buffalo. Scammers are claiming immigrants can enroll in legal programs by paying a fee. But these programs do not exist, and neither Catholic Charities of Buffalo nor Catholic Charities USA assist with bond payments. Catholic Charities will never request payments for any service via funds transfer systems such as Zelle or Venmo. Catholic Charities of Buffalo does provide immigration and refugee resettlement services and is altering its current and past clients about this scam. They are alerting its current and past clients about this scam. The agency encourages its clients and community members who receive solicitation from any Catholic Charities organization to call 716-218-1400 to confirm. In sports news, East Aurora girls basketball faces uphill start. The East Aurora Lady Blue Devils girls basketball team opened the season with 2 home losses last week, falling to Buffalo Academy of Science and Wilson. East Aurora dropped its season opener to Buffalo Academy of Science 40-32 on December 9th. Addie Miller led the Lady Blue Devils with 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. Cameron Stiles and Ella Soroka each scored 6 points, with Stiles adding 4 rebounds. Emily Seifert finished with 4 points. Maddie Bader recorded 3 points, 5 assists, 6 steals, and 3 rebounds. Aurora Sharklock added 2 points and a rebound, while Juliet Paccheri and Kaylin Legg each contributed 1 assist. The Lady Blue Devils returned to the court on December 12th and lost to Wilson 33-16. Stills led East Aurora with 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and 1 block. Sherlock scored 4 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. Kaylin Legg added 3 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals, while Beater totaled 1 point, 3 assists, and 11 steals. Miller recorded 8 rebounds, 5 steals, and 1 block. East Aurora will host Lakeshore in its next game, which was 7 o'clock on December 19th. And in boys basketball, Maryvale holds off East Aurora boys basketball. The East Aurora Blue Devils came up short on the road, falling 62-57 to the undefeated Maryvale Flyers on December 12th at Maryvale High School. East Aurora trailed 27-16 at halftime, but mounted a strong second-half surge, outscoring the Flyers 41-35 to pull within reach. Despite a late rally, the Blue Devils couldn't close the gap. Alex Bell led East Aurora with 21 points on 9 of 12 shootings, added 3 assists and 2 blocks. Alex Muir contributed 14 points, 9 rebounds, and while Colin Kenny added 9 points and 4 boards, Jacob Ashbourne chipped in 8 points. Maryvale was paced by Cavani Moore, who finished with 23 points and 4 assists, while Jacob Goins added 18 points and 5 rebounds. Eric Hayes posted 9 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 steals for the Flyers. The loss dropped East Aurora to 1-2 on the young season, while Maryvale improved to 3-0. And you are listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And next we have the Orchard Park Bee. First article written by Emma McElligott. Water rates rise in the village of Orchard Park. The Village of Orchard Park Board of Trustees approved new water rates for 2026 and delayed action on a proposed short-term rental during its regular meeting, which was Monday, December 8th at the Municipal Center. The board unanimously adopted higher water rates effective January 1, 2026, citing increased costs from the Erie County Water Authority, the village's water supplier. District water users will pay $11.25 per 1,000 gallons, plus a quarterly operations and maintenance charge of $10.89, with a minimum quarterly bill of $112.14. Non-district users will pay $15.76 per 1,000 gallons, plus a quarterly operations and maintenance charge of $46.23, with a minimum quarterly bill of $188.07. The vote followed a public hearing during which no comments were offered in support or opposition. Mayor Joanne Litwin Clinton stated that water is purchased from the Erie County Water Authority. When they increase the rates, we need to pass that increase on to our customers, she said. The board also considered a special use permit request to allow a short-term rental at 6883 East Quaker Street, and Litwin Clinton explained that the board had rescinded an earlier approval after incorrect information was presented at a November hearing, prompting a new review. Jim Bammel, representing the applicant, said the entire home would be rented as an Airbnb with a maximum occupancy of 6 people and parking available for up to 4 vehicles. There are 2 garage spaces and an additional 2 parking spaces in front of the garage, she said. Stephanie Josker of Metro Roberts Realty would serve as the local co-host, and a property maintenance and cleaning contractor would be in place. Several residents spoke in opposition, expressing concerns that additional short-term rentals could change the character of the neighborhood and negatively impact a street largely made up of long-term homeowners. Written opposition was also submitted to the village, and after discussion, the board unanimously voted to table the request to allow for further review. Short-term rentals are seriously reviewed by the village, Litwin Clinton said. When a short-term rental is granted, it is for a 1-year period, so the building inspector can monitor any activities and inspect. In other business, the board accepted the resignations of village prosecutor Charles Messina and village attorney Philip Marshall, both effective December 31st, 2025. We are so happy for both of them, but are sad at their leaving, Trustee David Evans said. Litwin Clinton appointed Daniel Kane as village prosecutor and John C. Bailey as village attorney, with both appointments running from January 1 until the village's organizational meeting in April 2026. Trustees approved both appointments unanimously, and the board approved payment of $78,439 in vouchers and accepted monthly reports from the Village Justice Court, Treasurer, and Water Department. Trustees also approved a special event contract with St. John's Lutheran Church to host the Frozen Chosen 5K on January 24th, 2026. During departmental updates, Code Enforcement Officer John Gullo announced that some building permits are now available online, with additional permit options expected to be added in the future. He also reminded residents that it is their responsibility to maintain their sidewalks, including snow removal. Trustee Matthew W. Hartung reminded residents and snowplowing contractors that snow may not be pushed into roadways or onto sidewalks, and encouraged residents to report any signs of water main breaks. Trustees canceled the board's schedule meeting for December 22nd, and the next regular meeting of the village board is expected for January 12th, 2026. And next we have Radio Reading provides audio versions of regional national publications. In 1987, former UB public radio station manager Bob Sikorsky set out to create a resource for visually impaired Western New Yorkers that would make print media more accessible. In the nearly 40 years since, the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service has not only continued to serve listeners, but evolved to spread their reach as part of their ongoing mission to provide everyone with equal access to information. Broadcasting around the clock, Radio Reading provides audio versions of close to 80 regional and national publications for listeners who are visually impaired or affected by a disability or health condition that makes reading difficult, such as dyslexia, Parkinson's disease, or muscular dystrophy. From newspapers such as the Wall Street Journal and the Bee, to magazines like Time or People, to New York Times best-selling novels, Radio Reading covers a wide range of literature in an effort to ensure that as many listeners' needs and interests as possible are met. Radio Reading is an amazing community resource and the only service of its kind in New York State west of Albany, said Radio Reading's community engagement coordinator Marian Heatherly. There are dozens of vision, mobility, and literacy challenges that impact a person's ability to read. We're talking more than 100,000 people across our service region. We offer audio versions of all the major and regional publications. This is critical information our listeners can't get otherwise, because reading, turning pages, or holding a publication is difficult or impossible for them. Since its inception, the service has remained free for listeners, offering access to programming via specialty radio receivers at no cost. As technology has evolved, Radio Reading has also begun to offer their broadcasts online to ensure as many listeners can access them as possible. You can't get this frequency on a regular radio. It can only be heard on a special radio receiver, Hatterley said. Anyone who wants to listen to radio reading now can still receive a special radio receiver for free. We'll bring it right to your home or living facility. But sometimes the quality of that radio signal is weak and it only reaches areas in Erie, Niagara, Chautauqua counties. Now that radio reading is online, we recommend listening to our live streams where the signal is always strong and clear wherever you live. According to Hatherley, despite the advancements that have been made in technology, the media consumption since the service has first been introduced, still only a small portion of modern printed materials are fully accessible, making radio reading as important now as ever. As a former public broadcasting reporter and marketing MBA, I believe every type of media has its advantages and disadvantages, Hatherley said. Despite industry changes over the years, print still has the most established history of trustworthiness, fact-checking, and in-depth coverage. For Hatherley, being able to help and connect with the community that radio reading services makes her job worthwhile. A woman called who said she's blind and has autism. We talked over the phone about how to tell her smart speaker to open the service, and as it seems as we started to play, she began to cry, Hatherley said. I have to admit, she made me cry too. She was so happy to have this new friend who opened up a whole new world of stories and other information for her. As a nonprofit organization, Hatherley said, the service largely relies on support from the community to continue broadcasting. Through monetary donations or volunteer services, the station always welcomes new readers and offers flexible recording options, including studio access or sending audio files remotely. Those interested in learning more about radio reading and how to get involved can contact Hatherley at 716-821-5555 extension 3 or email reader at afradiorreading.com. You've been listening to Around Our Area, a weekly look at community newspapers from around Western New York. Your reader for this hour has been Susan, and thanks for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Ampol Eagle. At 4 o'clock, we have the Grand Island Niagara County Tribune Sentinel. And following that, at 5 o'clock, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day.
Hello, this is Marian Heatherly, Community Engagement Coordinator for your Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, and I'd like to talk to you as another year comes to a close. We've been reflecting on what we've accomplished in 2025 and what needs to be done in the new year, and you, our listeners, are at the heart of everything. The most important message we want to share this holiday season is thank you to all of our listeners who have supported radio reading in 2025 by listening, by making a donation, by attending an event, by spreading the word about us, by connecting a new listener with us. You're incredibly important to us as we review our accomplishments of the past year and plan for the future, so we can keep our programming free for everyone who needs it and reach more people who would benefit. On behalf of the entire team at
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision,